Hello everybody, this is Robbie from Southern California, and today I'm going to share with you this video I just put together on a smoky day. As you could see, it was early in the morning and the sky was gray and full of smoke, and I was amazed at what happened. Again, it happened a year ago and it happened again this year. I went outside like I do every morning to rinse off the Oriole trays, and as you can see here, I love feeding them because the mother comes in and she dips her insects in there, and that's so she can feed her babies a little extra nutrients of sugar water. And so I always rinse the trays in the morning and then refill them. Later on in the day, I take them in and scrub them. Well, I lay the hose over the side of the deck like I do every morning, and normally nothing happens. But this morning, all of a sudden, they started swarming in. Hundreds and hundreds of hummingbirds. They were coming through the sky, and they all started to gather on my lemon tree. That lemon tree is called a variegated pink lemonade tree. They must have just heard the water, and of course they were feeding because they had heard the other hummingbirds. I feed so many hummingbirds here, thousands, and we have feeders all over the property. And as you can see, they were flying to the window, but we have feeders on the other side of my kitchen window too. That is the favorite place for the local hummingbirds to feed. So hummingbirds have a very keen sense of hearing, and they must have heard the migrators, heard all the native hummingbirds that live here, I should say. So they came to feed, but when the water went on, they were so excited. Look at this. I just left the hose there and I decided to leave it on for an hour and do as much photographing as I possibly can. Now, you probably are going to ask me, how do you know they're migrators and they're not, your local residents? Well, when I went out that morning, when this happened the other day, I noticed that every time I moved too quickly, a lot of them would dash into the trees. And that was the first sign, is they don't know me. The ones that know me buzz my head and try to come in the house and look for me. Well, these birds that are coming through, the migrators, don't know me. Now, they will calm down as they see the other ones are feeding, and they will react as the other ones are reacting. But here, they wanted to come in and take a bath, probably to get that ash off from all the smoke, and this way they could take a really beautiful bath. And then they could go on their merry way, whether they want to go into the garden to feed after they get a drink from the window, or we have hummingbird feeders all over the different gardens. We have dozens. I don't even know how many. Got 300 pounds of sugar, so far so good. But I wanted to share this with you because this is amazing. It doesn't happen every day. My local hummingbirds know that I have bird baths everywhere, bird fountains with bird baths. So they don't look for the sprinkler. So when I turn on the hose in the morning and I'm washing things off, they're not really that interested in it because they know they can go anytime, anywhere and take a bath. But the ones that have been traveling, who knows, hundreds of miles possibly in a few days, maybe further, all they heard was this wonderful water. And, they know rain, and there hasn't been any rain. So when they heard the water and the other birds screaming with joy as they were eating in the morning, they joined them. Now, how many will move on and how many will stay here, I don't know. I just know that in the winter, we do feed thousands. You can calculate that on the amount of feeders and the amount of nectar I have to make per day, how many gallons and gallons I make. But this has just been beautiful. I really want you to enjoy this because I just was captivated by these little guys. It's just amazing how they can stand on the edge of a leaf and just take these baths of scrubbing and scrubbing. I mean, they're possibly scrubbing off all that ash. Now, are they moving through quicker because of all the fires in Southern California? I don't know, because they do come through here in September. We'll have even more in October, and then all winter, the window will just be black in the morning with hummingbirds. Which is interesting, as we have feeders all over the gardens, but their favorite feeders are the ones in the window. So I keep adding and adding. It started with one, and then I put in two, and now there's close to a dozen feeders in the window. Probably will add more. I've got them on my deck as well. This is just so beautiful. I'm amazed. And like I said, I went out this morning and did it. This was a day or two ago, and nothing. So the ones that are coming through here, and if they are staying here, probably by now, because they must have just came in a big group, had already found the fountains. So they weren't that interested anymore. It's like, well, gee, we can eat and just go into the garden and take a bath. And believe you me, they were all over in the gardens taking a bath. But this must have been a swarm, must have come through an entire group. And they just wanted to take a bath so bad. This was very, very early in the morning. It was like 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. Now, a lot of these will continue to go down south. Some will go into Mexico. And it's hard to say where they're going. They can go really far down south. But it depends on where they're going. We have 6 species that go through Southern California here. I have photographed 5, and I do have a video of all 5, and I'll put the link down below, so if you're interested, you can go through it. I did label those. But I have seen 5. We're supposed to have 6, and I think I saw the 6th one the other day. But I'm going to keep an eye out. I did see a pied one go through, and I'm trying to get a photograph of that. But keep in mind, it's very difficult to get a photograph, because when they come to feed, it's not the same bird. They feed, and if they're going to come back, they won't come back for 15 minutes to 20 minutes. If they find food in the garden, they may not come back for hours. So he comes and he goes, and of course, you can't sit there all day, but he's got a white head. And that's what I want to get a photograph to see exactly why his feathers are white on his head. But this is just beautiful. Here you can see all the different species of hummingbirds that are bathing here, and bathing even side by side, and very, very peaceful. And they're very peaceful when they feed here too. And I do believe the main reason they're peaceful is I try to keep, I can't say more feeders than hummingbirds, but I keep so many feeders with food in it that they don't have any fear here of having no food. As soon as I see one is empty, I bring it in, I scrub it, clean it, and put it out. I try to keep the Orioles on the deck so they stay away from the hummingbirds, because they bother them. They don't frighten them or hurt them, but they just bother them. They're intimidating because they land on the feeders and then they take off and the feeders swing. Because hummingbirds, as you know, are like little helicopters. They're so dainty. Look when they leave a leaf. You'll see when they lift off, it's just like a helicopter, just straight up. Or an Oriole pushes and everything goes flying because they're actually launching and pushing against gravity. But these, see, look at that. It's just amazing. They'll sit on a leaf and they'll lift up. And I can't get over how soaking wet they get. And with all that water on them, they still can fly quite well. These are such amazing birds. Great memories. They know where they were last year. I mean, they can live 6, 7, 8 years, and they'll remember where they found food. So if they go up north and it's time to start heading back, be it could be fires driving them back or the weather's going to change, they remember where their food is. And we do end up with a whole lot. And please keep in mind, I've told the story on this, I started just not that many years ago with just a couple around here. And the one hummingbird that was hanging around has now turned into thousands. Just by them hearing the other hummingbirds, knowing it's peaceful here, knowing it's safe, and so they find a place where they can hang out for the winter. So don't be discouraged if you've only got one. If it's a little girl you've got in your yard, just think. They can have 3 or 4 nests. They can have 6 babies, 8 babies, and then those babies are going to remember you when you put that feeder out. They are such a joy. They are so beautiful. They are so amazing and so tiny and so bold. I think they think they're a really big bird. So with this, I hope you enjoyed this. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. And don't forget to eat what you grow. Bye-bye, everybody.